Hold up.
Hey there, SMU crew. I am so excited about this training, and this training is going to be another module all about Facebook. The reason being, it's time for you to be fearless on Facebook. So I know that as you leave this particular module, you are going to feel really empowered with an understanding of what the different metrics on Facebook mean and ultimately how you can really master them. So we're going to be talking a little bit about reach and engagement, as well as other metrics that are particularly important on Facebook. So we're going to be talking about the metrics that matter. And the thing that's most important that I want you to understand, so we're going to be talking about metrics that matter. Now, one important distinction is that this is specifically related to organic Facebook content. And the reason I want to clarify that is because there are different metrics we're going to look at that matter quite a bit more when you're running Facebook ads, but these are the metrics that are really going to be coming up time and time again with clients when you're running posts organically on social media. Yes, technically they're all vanity metrics. Yes, technically they're all show. But as we know, the power of vanity metrics and the results that they can bring with consumers that are loyal, etc., is absolutely, you can't exactly put a price on it. So you guys know the power of these metrics. Just remember that this isn't going to be the same thing as conversions or as registrations necessarily. So we'll take a look at all of that when we dive into Facebook ads, at least on a basic level. But for now, these are the metrics that matter organically on Facebook. So that would be reach, and that is how many people have actually seen the posts and content that you've put out on Facebook. Engagements. Now, engagements can vary. There are 3 different tiers of engagements as measured by Facebook, and those engagements are like, comment, and share. And every single one of those engagements are incredibly powerful, and I'm going to be teaching you how to maximize those engagements with this module. But each actions on page, this means when somebody actually clicks through to possibly the website, or when there's the big button that says shop now, when somebody actually takes the time to leave your Facebook post and then go right to that big old button or that link and click on through, that's going to be incredibly powerful metric. Likes. Now, likes are a little bit different than just the engagement likes. Likes are the likes on the page. So how many likes the page has gotten as a result of a particular post or just consistent posting in general. Likes on page are powerful, even though, like we said, it is a vanity metric. And then clicks. Often we have links embedded into our posts. Sometimes we have them in the first comment underneath a post, which I'll explain in just a moment. And getting that click through to a website or to a blog, possibly to an online store, or maybe it's to an email registration page. That is going to be the most powerful with the exception of engagements. So the clicks through to the website is also a really powerful metric that is going to matter on Facebook. The 3 most powerful of these 3, technically speaking, from a business owner's standpoint, is going to be engagements, actions on page, and clicks. And then reach and likes are just 2 great indications that you're doing something right. And when they're presented properly as branding, as impressions, as growing a following, then absolutely those are powerful as well. But engagements, actions on page, and clicks are all things that lead to a potential return on investment. So I'm going to show you several of the pro tricks that I absolutely love for ramping up each of these things completely organically. So none of these have to do with paid ads. They don't have to do with boosting posts, but these are different ways to maximize the metrics that you're getting without spending a single dollar. Now, not every single one of these pro tips works for every single industry, every single Facebook page, but this is going to be particularly helpful for you as you're trying to increase every single one of the metrics to have an impressive report to bring back to your client at the end of the month. Now, reach is definitely one of the metrics that is the most difficult to achieve organically, but there are a couple of pro tips that are absolutely helpful for increasing the reach and to really dominate this as best as you possibly can on Facebook. So let's take a look at what each of those look like. Here are 2 or 3 of my absolute favorite tips and ways to skyrocket reach without spending a single dollar. So in Facebook dominating content, we talked a little bit about the different types of content and what seems to be getting the most reach. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at organically where we're seeing the greatest reach and some of my favorite tips for increasing reach. Okay, so this post right here, I posted about 6 hours ago. And this isn't one with the greatest reach that I've ever had, but you'll see that 534 people were reached organically with this post. Now, if I wanted this post to do better, you better believe I'm going to cross-post it to Twitter. I'm going to cross-post it to LinkedIn. I'm going to cross-post it to possibly some different groups that I'm a part of, or maybe send out an email that has this as a link so that people are dropping on over, taking a look at what's going on, keeping them really engaged. That is one of my absolute favorite ways to increase reach, is to cross-post, put everything that you produce everywhere. And a group is a really powerful way to share some of your content in a way that brings your audience in and increases that reach. Another thing you'll also notice is that you get some of your greatest reach organically when you share something that has to do with your audience and kind of has that viral effect. Not every single post is going to be an absolute slam dunk unless you have tons of time to prep, you're ready to create awesome content all the time, or curate content that has that potential to go viral. And that sounds a little bit crazy, but I just pretend that Facebook could shut me down at any point organically and require paid content all the time. So whenever I get great reach, I am so thankful, I'm excited about it, and then I replicate that same process once again. Another interesting fact about reach on Facebook, if something has already been shared on Facebook, you're less likely to get the reach of a first-time organic post. So for example, this video, Small Business and the Fear of Social Media. There are a couple things that are wrong with this post and why it only reached 159 people. But an interesting fact is part of the reason that it didn't do well is because it's not brand new content. It's something that I shared actually almost, what was it, a year and a couple of days ago. So a pro tip is if you are going to be sharing new content, find a way to mask the link, which I will be showing you in just a moment. Another great tip for increasing reach and engagement as well is to be doing Facebook Live videos. And it's especially helpful if you know that the video has to do with your target market and what they want to learn about. So by posting live videos, essentially Facebook Live. So by creating Facebook live streams and posting those on your Facebook page, it's really going to be a great way to ramp up your engagement as well as your reach, especially depending on how high quality the video is. Obviously, you guys know what looks like a viral video. It's not necessarily a lesson like this, but you can see that there were some great engagements on this video organically. Now, engagements are a little more difficult to organically acquire on Facebook, unless, of course, you are really, really tuned in with what your audience likes and what they love, and you're curating content that resonates with who they are. I'm going to show you my absolute favorite tip for increasing engagements organically. Now, my pro tip for engagement is that there are several different ways to really encourage engagement, and it can always be a really powerful thing. For example, this piece right here, I know that this speaks to anyone who's a millennial or knows a millennial, and so people who I do not know well have liked this post because it resonated with them. Another great way to encourage reactions is to find what type of humor or what type of maybe snarkiness or sarcasm resonates with your target market. So for example, here I mentioned I volunteer as tribute, which shows that I'm kind of being like silly and snarky and goofy, like you guys know that I am. But really, it resonated. People were like, that is awesome. Well, and obviously there's our own Tiffany. It inspired conversation. Another great way to ensure that you're able to get engagement is to actually ask people to interact with the post. Now, when I wrote this post about single moms, I knew that it would reach some people, but I wanted to reach single moms outside of my normal sphere of influence. And so I knew that if I shared this in groups and I said, hey, here's what you need to do, go to this post and comment, I knew that there would be quite a few people heading to this post, sharing it, liking it, and commenting. And ultimately, it would reach quite a few more single moms than just the people that I know in my everyday life. Now, it worked, obviously, and a part of what I did was completely organic. But you'll see here, my organic traffic was significantly greater than my paid traffic. And with 70 likes, 4 shares, and 69 comments, the majority of this was done through organic means. It's a powerful way to really get your message across in a big way, asking people to comment in order to be involved in a challenge or involved in a contest. I know one of our members, Kelly, does a great job of this. She's always doing challenges saying, tag your friend or share this with somebody who you think this resonate with, or check out this new contest we have going on. So this is a great way to ramp up engagement on your Facebook page organically. And then once I started to see that organically it was doing well, I boosted it to single moms so that single moms would have the opportunity to enter into this contest for this winter. Now, actions on page are a little bit different. The reason being, this is, the book Gary Vaynerchuk wrote called Jab, 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 Right Hook? This is the right hook, essentially. This is you saying, hey, we've got a sale going on. This is something big that we have. And really, you're asking them to shop now, buy now, leave a message now, place an order now, sign up now. You are asking for something from your target market. Now, sometimes they will organically click through and take action on the page without you actually having to call it to action. However, there is a time and a place to use a call to action in order to increase the actions on a page. Goodness, could we get any more action in this sentence? Basically, this is my favorite tip for increasing the actions on the page, and I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. Now, actions on page is essentially this button right here. You can create this button to say whatever you want and to ultimately send people to a specific action. So you could put sign up now and have something that builds your list. You could have or shop our sale or something along those lines that sends them through a funnel. You could, really the options are endless right here. Join community or something along those lines. So really, you can edit this to whatever you want. And if you edit it to something, for example, shop our sale now, if you create a post that says, click the button to shop our sale now, it's going to be that call to action. But bigger than that, when somebody lands on your page organically and wants to figure out what it is that you're about, they're going to click on this button here, and it's a powerful opportunity to bring them to a specific step in your funnel. So I don't recommend posting about the call to action very often, not directly at least, but this is a great way to increase those clicks through to the website, those people who are actually shopping online, those people who are interested in that course that you're giving or that mini course, or people who want to send you a message, whether it's positive, negative, or feedback. Now, for those of you who are saying, I really, really, really want to grow a strong following with tons of page likes. Well, of course, we all do. But one thing I will tell you, the moment you add dollars to a Facebook budget and start running targeted ads, whether it's for a sale or for an opt-in or some type of content that you're sending to your target market for branding and impressions, page likes will follow. And the reason being, there are several different techniques that you can use in order to ensure that you're growing in page likes. But it is something that can organically happen, and I'm going to show you how to maximize your page likes and squeeze every little last bit of engagement out of a single post. So I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like in what quite possibly could be my absolute favorite pro tip. And my favorite pro tip of all time, I promise this to you. So when you are growing a page, whether it's organically or through paid Facebook ads, you will notice that sometimes people like your content. And if they already like the page, great. But what happens to those people who like your content but don't already subscribe to your page? They're not already following. Well, I'm going to show you the exact way to turn them into a follower. So when you go through your notifications, you can see who has liked your content, right? So what you do is you click on the post, you go ahead and scroll down, take a look at who has liked it, and you're going to see here, you can determine whether people have already liked the page, whether you've already invited them to like the page, or if they're open for invitation. So you can invite people to like the page after they've already engaged with your content. And this is a great way to quickly grow your social media, especially when you're in those early days and you're doing all organic work. Every single like, doesn't it feel like kind of a victory? You think, oh my gosh, yes, it's another like. This is awesome. I can report back to my client. But anytime somebody likes your content, absolutely invite them to like the page, and you will grow a following that is really loyal because they already like what it is that you produce. Now here's the cool thing about I'm going to show you my favorite pro tip. Clicks obviously attract attention. So anytime someone sees content that relates to them. So where I see the best luck with clicks is you're going to see that you get reduced. It has to do with something that my audience is absolutely passionate about, or if it's a blog post that I wrote or somebody else wrote. Curated content actually does very well with clicks. But there's actually a trick that you can use in order to prevent Facebook from penalizing you within the algorithms. Now, you may or may not know this, but when you post a link within a Facebook post, no matter what is happening, Facebook automatically detects that link and says, hey, they're trying to send someone outside of Facebook. And so the algorithm actually penalizes that post and minimizes the reach that it's going to have organically. Now, for some people, it doesn't really affect them because they have enough followers that a small percentage of their followers are going to interact, engage, share, comment, and boost it right on back up. However, for many of us, we're trying to get every single last cent we can out of the organic posting on Facebook. So I'm going to show you my favorite pro tip in order for the maximum amount of clicks on any given post without being penalized by Facebook. So let's take a look at what that looks like. You're going to see that you get reduced reach. And one way to combat that is to actually upload an image of what it is that you're going to take them to. And instead of linking to the episode or whatever blog post or whatever content it is that you're sharing, drop it in the first comment. And this is going to prevent Facebook from flagging you as something with a link in it. It's going to prevent you from being flagged and dragged down within the algorithm. You'll see here I had 1,092 organic reached. My paid reach was terrible on this post. Clearly the target that I targeted didn't care, but organically they really did. So by adding this to the first link instead of adding it within the post, you'll notice that there was significantly more reach than many of the other posts that I've had in the past. And side note, in case you're thinking this as well, since this did so well organically, this would be one that would be worth paying to boost, only I would change up the targeting and target an audience with whom this would resonate well. Now, if it feels like these are a lot of tips and like it's a little bit overwhelming to get all of them done at once, that's okay. Focus on one or two for a while, and those are going to be your areas of focus for growth. So maybe say this month, I'm really going to be focusing on increasing my reach, because if I know that I can increase my reach, guess what? I believe I can increase my engagements. If I can increase my engagements, I know how to maximize and get every single one of those possible likes for the page that I possibly can. So really just focus on one or two, knowing that when you get really good at one or two of those metrics and the tricks that are associated with them, it's going to have a snowball effect. So I hope you have enjoyed this training on reach and engagement, the pro tips behind how to get the ultimate reach and engagement from an organic Facebook budget. So I want to see you take action and get ready for the next video in this series.